I'm Adam.
And I'm Sunny.
And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way. Hey, Sunny. Some people believe in ghosts and some don't. What about you?
I'm not sure. I've heard stories from my brothers and sisters about strange noises and shadows in the house at night. It's kinda spooky.
I can understand why that might be spooky for a little guy like you. But there's often a scientific explanation for those things. It could just be a creaky floorboard or the wind blowing through cracks in the wall.
That's true. But what about those stories of people seeing ghostly figures or hearing voices from beyond?
Many people think those stories are just products of our imagination or our brain playing tricks on us. Our minds can sometimes make us see and hear things that aren't really there, especially when we're scared or in the dark.
I guess that makes sense, but it's still fun to imagine that there might be ghosts out there, right?
In today's book, a young girl lives in a haunted house, but she's never seen a ghost. But she's determined to find what's haunting it. Let's get started. There's a Ghost in This House by Oliver Jeffers. Hello, please come in. The central hall plan, which provided ample circulation, probably reached the peak of achievement in the superb hallways of this remarkable house built in 1760.
Premiumbeat.com.
Perhaps you could help me? You see, I've heard, but I haven't found one. I'm not even sure what a ghost looks like.
Premiumbeat.com.
Some say they're white with holes for eyes, but they're very hard to see.
What would you do if there was a ghost living in your house?
I suppose I'd try to understand why the ghost was here and what it wanted. Maybe it needs help or has some unfinished business. I'd try to communicate with it and see if we could find a solution together.
That's very teacher-like of you, Adam. But what if it's a mischievous ghost playing tricks and spooking you all the time?
I might have to get creative. Maybe I'd organize a friendly ghost-catching competition with my students. We'd come up with a clever way to catch the ghost without hurting it, and then turn it into a fun learning experience.
Just to be clear, you would invite your students to your house to explore ghosts?
No, not really. What would you do?
I think I'd be a bit scared at first, being so small and all. But then I'd remember that ghosts are usually just people from the past, right? So I'd try to befriend it. Maybe we could have late-night chats about the history of the house or play tiny ghost-sized games.
But what if the ghost wanted to share your cheese stash?
That would be a tough one. I'd have to teach the ghost about sharing. We could have a little cheese party together, but the ghost would have to promise not to eat it all.
Premiumbeat.com.
I've heard some have chains and haunt the halls. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing things.
Premiumbeat.com.
Have you ever seen a ghost? Do you know what they look like? Do they only go in the rooms? Where the lights don't work? Do they only come out at night?
Premiumbeat.com.
Would you know where to look? I've searched every room in this house. In the study, this fireplace achieves dignity with a total absence of carving or ornamentation, an effect
Premiumbeat.com.
that may be just as easily carried out in a less imposing room. The excellence in design of this basket grate is particularly noteworthy. I've even checked the chimney. Have you ever thought about what you would do if you were searching for ghosts in your mouse hole?
I wouldn't look up the chimney, that's for sure.
If you were searching for ghosts, I'd probably start by turning off all the lights and grabbing a flashlight. Then I'd slowly walk around the house, checking all the nooks and crannies.
I guess I'd do something similar, but on a mouse scale. I'd scurry around my little mouse hole and look for any unusual movements or sounds.
Oh, that's interesting. Since you're so small, you might have an advantage in sneaking up on ghosts. But what if you actually found one? Maybe offer it some cheese or crumbs to show that I mean no harm? That's a unique approach. I'd probably be a little more cautious and maybe try to communicate with the ghost by asking simple yes or no questions, by using a flashlight or some other method.
That's a good idea too. Communication is key, even with ghosts.
This attic now serves as a storeroom for old chairs, books, and a covered highboy. The southeast bedroom contains a fine mahogany wardrobe. Beside it stands a Queen Anne chair. The attic, behind all the wardrobes,
PremiumBeat.com.
the bed. Twice. I've lived here a long time, and I've never once seen a ghost. Perhaps I never
PremiumBeat.com.
will.
I've been wondering, do you think we mice could be friends with ghosts?
That's a rather unusual topic. Why do you want to be friends with ghosts?
Are you kidding me? We were just talking about that. I've heard that ghosts are really good listeners, and they can keep secrets. I thought it might be fun to have a ghost friend who could listen to our adventures and stories.
Making friends with ghosts might be a bit challenging. They tend to be elusive and hard to find,
I guess you're right, but it would be so cool to have a ghost friend who could tell me about their spooky experiences.
In the meantime, you have plenty of brothers and sisters to share your adventures with. I'm always here to listen to your stories too.
You're right, Adam. I'm lucky to have so many family members and friends like you. Who needs ghosts when I have such a wonderful company right here?
And speaking of people listening to you, if you've enjoyed listening to this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm Adam,
And I'm Sunny.
and this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way. Did you know Abraham Lincoln's ghost is said to haunt the White House? There's a story that the Queen of Holland was visited by it when she was staying there.
PremiumBeat.com.